The next thing we need to do now is put in our ground and radial system. So this post here is where the mast's actually going to go. I've measured 16 metre radius around from here. The radials are going to be 16 metres long. And there's a good piece of work actually from an American amateur called Rudy Sevens. I won't bore you with full details. Callum at DX Commander, he's got a good channel. He did a lot on this subject, so if you want to know more details, it's worth looking at the DX Commander channel. But the essential gist of it is, in an ideal broadcast situation, you want 120 quarter wave radials, and there's a lot of people out there that will tell you the system simply will not work if you don't have 120 radials. Absolute nonsense. That's the absolute perfect scenario if you're running a broadcast station. What Rudy Sevens reckoned is you're looking above sort of about 16 to 20 radials, you're in seriously diminishing returns for what we're doing. So I'm actually going to go for 40, and the reason for that is what Rudy also said is if you can't get the full length of the radials, in this case we're doing a quarter wave vertical for 80 metres, if you can't get the full length you can shorten the radials but increase the number of them with minimal losses. So ideally the radials for this setup should be 20 metres. Realistically it's a bit tight to fit that in for various logistical reasons, so I'm going to go with radials of about 15-16 metres, and hence increasing the number of radials to 40. So I've actually marked out a radius of 16 metres around here. Next thing I want to do is cut the grass as short as I possibly can, so I'm going to get the lawnmower out. Okay, so I've now cut the grass as short as I possibly can, and when I lay my radials down on the ground, what will happen is the grass will grow over and they'll all sink into the ground over the next month or so. So that'll work quite well. What I'll do before I put my radials down though is my earth rod. Now, if you've seen my previous video on how I install my earth rods, you'll know I use 15mm copper pipe from the hardware store. I normally connect a hose on the end, put a bit of water pressure down it and just ram it into the ground like the water drill effect. The problem I've got here is we don't actually have any running water on this site, so I've tried to push it in by hand and I got down so far but it's a bit stiff, so I'm going to pour a bit of this water on it and see if I can soften up the ground a bit. And I don't know if this is going to work or not. We'll give it a go and see. So nice bit of water on there, get the ground nice and soggy, and then let's do what I did before as if the hose was connected. And actually I surprise myself sometimes, this seems to be working quite well. It is going slowly. So try and loosen that up a bit. Maybe get a bit more water in there. Yeah, make it nice and wet. Right, here we go, have another go. Yeah, it's going. See, each time I pull it out, it goes in just that little bit further each time. Get in there. Right, I reckon I've got a sledgehammer, or the head of a sledgehammer in the car. I reckon give that a few knocks, it'll go in. Back in a sec. Right, here we go. This is an old sledgehammer. The head's broken off, but it's still great for pounding things into the ground. So let's put a bit more water on there, see if we can soften up the ground a bit more. There we go. And lift it in and out a few times just to work that water in there. Right, and then let's just pound it in the last few bits. Obviously this is just copper, so I'm trying to be a bit careful not to bend it too much. I mean, worst case scenario is it's in reasonably deep, so if I can get it in far enough I can just take an angle grinder to it and cut the top off if needs be. So I think we might get away with it. There we go. So I've left about 3 inches or so sticking out of the ground just to give me something to work with and something to attach it to. So that's our earth rod in the ground. Time to start laying radials. Okay, so we're about a week later then. I've come back to finish off the radials. I've actually got the caravan with me, which you can't see, it's just out of shot. So we're going to do an overnighter and actually hopefully get this on air tonight. So for the radials I'm just using cheap automotive wire, equipment wire, eBay. I think it cost me about 12 quid, and using these metal garden pins to peg it down. So that's what we're going to do now. Now, as I said previously, we're on a bit of a budget here, so we haven't actually got a mast big enough for a quarter wave at 80 metres at the moment, but I've got a spider beams mast which is 12 metres, so I'm reckoning we're going to play on 40 metres tonight, and then when budget allows we'll get a bigger mast and have a go on 80. So first things first, let's get the rest of these radials pinned down. Right, so here we go then. I'll just show you a bit of an up close. So I've got all the wires, I've twisted them together. If the camera will focus on that. There we go, twisted them all together and crimped them in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder those just to make a really good electrical connection. Then I'll wrap some electrical tape over it as well, just to protect it from the elements a little bit. And this is after it's been soldered, so it's not the prettiest job in the world, not going to win any awards or anything, but got the crimp connection there for the mechanical strength, and soldered as well for the electrical connection. And then what I do after that, just to try and keep the moisture out a little bit, put some tape on. So this is the other one that I did today. So I've just wrapped it in yellow and green electrical tape for earth, and just tidy it up and try and keep the moisture out. Then I connect all my earth wires together, and where's the other one? There we go. So there's 4 of them, 40 radials, 10 on each one, and I'll put a fairly thick earth wire on this ground rod as well, and earth it all together. So then we've got our ground and radial system. Thank you for watching. If you like what I do, please click the thumbs up button. It lets me know that I'm heading in the right direction with the channel and gives me the confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. Don't forget to click the subscribe and also the bell button to be notified when I upload new content. If you don't like what I'm doing, feel free to click the thumbs down button. Just tell me why in the comments below. I welcome your feedback, and constructive criticism will help me to improve the channel. Take care, and I hope you will catch me in the next video.